Imagine this. Every second, a truckload of clothes is burnt or buried in landfill. By the time you've heard my talk, over 500 trucks full of clothes, once worn, discarded without any thought, will have also joined the waste dump. I say imagine this, but that's the reality. The fashion industry, built on speed and excess, is one of the largest contributors to global pollution. But here's a question. Can we transform this chaos into something better? Let me go back 15 years. At 17, I landed my first part-time job. I was so excited. It was working for a high street fast fashion retailer, and I loved shopping there on weekends. So actually going there every week and being paid for it was a dream. I loved clothes, dressing up, looking cool and trendy, so it was an ideal first job for me. I remember on the induction, I'm sitting in the staff room with other new colleagues, and the manager tells us one of the staff bonuses is a generous 50% discount. You are walking mannequins. Every customer who walks in should look at you and want to buy what you're wearing. That's what we were told. Then came the rule. We had to wear clothes from the shop floor to reflect the latest trends. That 50% discount wasn't just a perk. It was a golden ticket. A ticket to an endless cycle of consumption. And I thought it was pretty cool. Back then, I never questioned it. I was too caught up in the thrill of trends. But here's what I didn't see. I had no idea of the environmental cost. The mountains of discarded clothing. The microplastics seeping into our oceans. Or the garment workers toiling away for pennies in faraway countries. After all, I couldn't physically see any of the problems near me, so what was the issue? Well, I was the issue. I was part of the machine unknowingly fueling the culture of throwaway fashion. And it took me years to unlearn what that job had taught me. It was only when I sat down and learned how to sew a pair of trousers that I truly understood the time, effort, and skill that are involved in making clothes. Today, my relationship with fashion is different. I create clothing from pre-loved garments, giving discarded textiles a second life, and I teach others to do the same through educational talks in schools, colleges, universities. I help young people to upcycle, mend, repair clothes. I help them see clothing differently, not as disposable, but as something to be valued and reimagined. Fashion is a $2.4 trillion industry, yet it generates 92 million tons of textile waste every year. And fashion waste has a huge environmental impact. Producing clothes involves vast amounts of water and energy. In fact, it takes 3,781 litres of water to make one single pair of jeans. That's enough drinking water to sustain a person for 5.5 years. So let's talk about the true cost of fast fashion. The demand for low prices is fueling unethical labour practices. Behind the clothes we buy, there are workers, real people, mums, dads, brothers, sisters, who are underpaid, overworked, and often forced to endure unsafe conditions. We've probably all heard of the harsh realities behind popular fast fashion and high street giants. Imagine working 75 hours a week, every single week. And for many, that's not just a bad week, it's the norm. One worker even admitted, if there are 31 days in a month, I will work 31 days. Wages aren't fixed, but depend on how many pieces of clothing a worker can make. So the faster you work, the more you earn. And pay is also tied to what's trending online. If a certain style is popular, orders surge, and production must keep up. We live in a world that constantly chases the next trend. Fashion moves so fast that it fuels overconsumption, creating a culture where outfits are worn once, posted on Instagram, and never worn again. simply because they've already been seen. Wear once, discard. That's become normal. But what if we changed our perspective? What if, instead of passively accepting the cycle of waste, we asked questions? Where do our clothes come from? Who is making our clothes? How can we extend the life of them? And what happens to our clothes after we throw them away? Look at nature. Nothing goes to waste in an ecosystem. So why can't fashion work the same way? Innovations in sustainable fashion are proving that a better way isn't just possible, it's already happening. Take upcycling and repurposing. While many fashion labels are leading the way, transforming old clothing and textiles into new products, everyday people like you and me, we can do it too. Just search upcycle on social media and you'll find millions of creative, one-of-a-kind pieces of clothing and accessories saved from landfill and given a second life. Whether it's turning worn-out jeans into a stylish new tote bag, or repurposing an old pair of curtains, like I've done today with this outfit, head to toe in curtains. Upcycling proves that sustainable fashion is as much about creativity as it is about conscious choices. We've probably all heard of a capsule wardrobe, a carefully curated selection of clothes that mix, match, and maximise every piece. A shift away from chasing trends and moving towards a more intentional way of dressing. But fashion's shift towards sustainability goes far beyond that too. Rental clothing is expected to boom this year, especially for weddings and occasion wear. The online clothing rental market is estimated to grow by $1.16 billion in the next 4 years alone. Thrifting and swapping have also grown in popularity. In fact, since the pandemic, the stigma associated with buying second-hand has reduced, leading to an increased demand for the resale fashion market, which grew 18% in 2023. And in that year, the online marketplace Vinted grew from 80 million to 105 million users. Designers are pushing boundaries with groundbreaking materials. We've seen discarded fishing nets transformed into outerwear, old rubber tyres reborn as flip-flops. We already have enough clothing in the world to dress the next 6 generations. To put that into perspective, that's between 120 and 240 years of fashion. So the real question shouldn't be, do we need more clothes, but how can we make better use of the clothes we already have? Historically, disruption leads to change and progress. The current crisis in fashion waste presents several opportunities. Consumers can engage in clothing swaps, repair workshops, upcycling, repurposing, supporting ethical brands. Designers and businesses can integrate sustainability into their core models, ensuring that fashion pieces have a second, third, or even infinite life. And together, communities, we can engage in clothing swaps, repair workshops, or supporting local sustainability initiatives. Change is possible, but it requires action at every level. Now, imagine a world where fashion waste doesn't exist. Every garment has a circular journey, designed for longevity, repurposed creatively, and eventually biodegrading harmlessly. We might think, I'm just one person, what difference can I make? But change doesn't happen in isolation. When individuals demand better, brands and policymakers take notice. In the famous words of Vivienne Westwood, buy less, choose well, make it last. If we rethink our habits, if we question the way things are, if we embrace innovative solutions, we can reinvent a fashion industry that is ethical, sustainable, and waste-free. So, I'll leave you with this. The next time you look in your wardrobe and say, I've got nothing to wear, don't rush to buy something new. take a look at your clothes and ask yourself, how can I reinvent this? Thank you.